この演目では、お客様からいくつか私物を集めさせていただきます。
So, I'm going to hold my breath until I die. I'm 10 years old. I'm big boned. Here I am watching TV. This is my dad's car. And this is our dog. My brother, Anthony. Anthony is older than me. We're a middle-class family living in the middle of the 1970s, in the middle of the Isle of Wight, which is a small island off the south coast of England. And that really is the beginning, the middle, and the end. By the fourth day, the burning in my shoulder was almost unbearable. I thought that enough was enough, and that was that. I felt elated by what I had achieved, but when I brought my arm down, I was swamped by a feeling of failure. Also, the pain was as bad now with the arm down as it was up. I clearly reached a halfway mark where I could go either way. Following Monday, Dad bellowed at me, slapped my face, shook me, and took me to the doctors. Within a month, I'd been appointed my very own child psychiatrist. I was the boy with the arm. In 1979, after Anthony's A-levels, we all went to the Balearics for a fortnight. When we came back, Anthony went to London, to Art College in London. And I was referred by social services to a residential convalescence home for young people who had undergone trauma. The psychiatrists had washed their hands of me. The only formal attention I received now was from the medical profession, who were concerned if I continued the way that I was, that I would start to lose my fingers. Already by the age of 16, my hand was blackening from lack of blood, and both of my fingernails had fallen off. On December the 24th, 1982, outside a bus stop in Rye, my mother fell down dead. I left home and went to live with Anthony and Simon and a girl called Carla in a new squat near Hackney Marsh. I conceded, however, to having this finger removed because it was dead. My blood pressure was 180 over 130. When Simon came back from Berlin, he asked me if I'd like to be involved in an exhibition that he was planning. One room contained huge lithographic reproductions of the texture of my hand and arm, with titles such as Death in Life. Another room contained a collection of double exposure Polaroids with healthy arms superimposed over images of me sleeping, as though I were dreaming about arms. The centrepiece of man infestation was me, sitting in a cradle for 3 two-hour shifts a day, watching television through earphones. Bulgarian chants were piped through the gallery. I should have enjoyed the attention, but I didn't feel able. Man infestation was a huge success. Death in Life was bought by a plastic surgeon from Harley Street for £2,500. Simon gave me £200. The famous painter's studio was in Notting Hill Gate. She painted at night. She would need me to sit over a period of at least 9 months, as and when. She would pay me £8,000. We worked on 4 canvases over 4 years, plus a sheaf of line drawings and sketches and charcoals. I felt redeemed. I felt meaningful, like somebody other than yourself is meaningful. The paintings won awards. I became renowned. People wanted to meet me. I was too ill to do anything, but I became observed. I suggested to Simon, however, that now would be a good time to stop what I had started 25 years before. A consultant at Guy's Hospital had suggested that some of my medical ills could be remedied if the arm, much of my shoulder, and my right lung were removed. He offered his services and described the operation and what it would leave me with. We arrived here in the summer of 2007. When I got off the boat, the heat and humidity hit me and I collapsed. I was taken to a hospital on the Lower East Side where they ran some tests. During the course of my life, they said, I had diseased my heart. Diseased it beyond repair. I was too weak to undergo an operation. I was in internal shambles and would probably drop down dead at any moment. The best I had a couple of years. I had rotted. I had composted from the fingers down. Not surprising, really, but odd that one small gesture should have such an effect. And a shame when everything was now so promising. In addition to a one-off fee of $250,000, the US dealer agreed to cover all my medical and living expenses until I died. He would also pay to have most of my body returned to the Isle of Wight for burial. In return, I would sell him my arm. Of course, he wouldn't take it whilst I was alive, but he would have unrestricted access to my terminal decay. Documentary makers, photographers, visual artists. Then, after my death, my arm would be displayed in an aesthetic context, to be determined by him, Simon, and myself. He would also market the run-up to my death, television appearances, sponsorship deals, that kind of thing. He also arranged for me to give a series of talks about my life. I spoke to Anthony on the phone. He was painting for himself now, he said. Small canvases about his memories. He said he'd send me a portrait he'd done of me as a small boy. In it, he said, I was watching TV, plump and contented, with my arm around him,